The idea at the heart of the Midnight Library is it's such a genius one. And as most genius ideas are, it's also really simple. So just a quick synopsis. A lady in her mid-30s, well, she's unhappy with her life and she has a near-death experience. And in that infinite space between seconds, between life and death, she gets to experience all of the lives she could have lived had she just made different choices. And advertently or inadvertently, Matt Haig offers us actually quite a compelling explanation for why people who do experience NDEs, near-death experiences, return to life, return to living with an invigorated will to live. So in this video, I'll be talking about that, and then later on, I'll babble on a bit about the weight. Yeah, the weight, like the heaviness of words. So watch to the end, like, share, subscribe, and this is my no spoiler review of Matt Haig's The Midnight Library. Compared to the other books I've been reading, The Midnight Library it's a comparatively recent one. It was published in 2020, and from the moment it was published, it became a bestseller. And from every respectable place that gives reviews, it got a positive review, and it even won the Goodreads Choice Award for Fiction, which is like an award that's voted on, basically by the readers. So it's like the Rotten Tomatoes of books. It is Matt Haig's 7th novel, and he is an English fiction and nonfiction writer, actually, because he started his career writing nonfiction. He tends to write under this hilariously massive umbrella term called speculative fiction. And it's very massive and it's quite hilarious. So I'll put a link to the Wikipedia down below. Matt Haig's other books have titles like The Humans and How to Stop Time, just so you get an idea of, what his stuff is like. I'm sure a lot of us, a lot of you, a lot of us have wondered what life would have been like if we had just done like one thing instead of the other. And if you say you don't, well, I'm just going to straight up call you a liar, because I certainly do. And usually I do it as it's escapism. It's an exercise in escapism. What if I did finish my degree? What if I didn't quit that job? Or what if I didn't move back to Hong Kong and just stayed in London? And just thinking about it, I do it it's like to soothe the disquiet or frustration I have with my current life, or, well, just life, because it's my only one, right? And I also do it to beat myself up, because invariably the conclusion is I'm just such a dumbass for having done what I did. But it's funny. I doubt many of you have, I've never audited my choices and been like, well done you, or sorry, well done me. That was the right thing to have done. Pat myself on the back. You know what I mean? Because that would essentially be an expression of gratitude and appreciation. And everyone knows what an ungrateful little whelk I am. Actually, if we're being honest, everyone knows by default humans are generally ungrateful, petty little whelks. But seriously, if we were grateful, we really wouldn't be playing this kind of game with ourselves. We wouldn't even be attracted to this kind of game unless we go on some meditation retreat. Anyway, so the idea at the heart of Matt Haig's Midnight Library is, for most humans, I would argue, actually an inherently compelling and Moorish one, to be able to live the lives you could have lived had you just made a different choice. I found myself vicariously living my life through the protagonist, imagining myself being able to do what she does, but in less unfortunate circumstances, thank God. So in that sense, I can see how this book would emotionally resonate with people, emotionally resonate with a lot of people, especially those who fit under that dreaded demographic term of young adult. In fact, it was a young adult who recommended this book to me. She was saying how The Midnight Library was her favorite book, and as she was explaining why, I could see that she was really, genuinely moved by the book, which is what got me curious and made me want to read it. So yeah, I can totally see why. I can totally see how. In reading this book and relating to the protag, and not necessarily even in all of the aspects of the protag, because frankly, some of those aspects are quite bleak. In relating to her and going on this journey with her, I can totally see how the book can reinvigorate or fill you with a renewed something appreciation for life. For me though, for 36-year-old man me though, I was snagged. I got snagged, and it was a weird thought that snagged me. The words just felt lightweight. They were light. They didn't pack a punch. There wasn't any weight to them, and it felt like there was nothing backing them up and supporting them. You know what I mean? And I thought that maybe this was just a peculiarity of YA fiction, because I encountered this feeling before. You know, I really want to hear from you. Let me know down below if any of you have had the same feeling reading The Midnight Library or any young adult fiction. I'm not bragging, but I finished 29 books this year. I'm currently reading my 30th.
He says, clearly bragging.
Of them, only one other book can definitively be categorized as YA. And coincidentally, it's that book that also has that same lightness to the words, and that's Looking for Alaska by John Green, which I loved for its utter John Greenness, and I'll put the link to my video to that down there. But I remember thinking at the time, especially towards the beginning of Looking for Alaska, that the words did lack a little bit of weight, and it felt kind of like a children's book. I don't know, maybe that's a little bit overblown, but there was a lightness to the words, like there is in The Midnight Library. What is that? Is it just me? Is it just a quirk of my perception? Do you guys feel it too? It's really bugging me. Or is it a stylistic thing? And Matt Haig and John Green have somewhat similar styles. I mean, I don't think they do, but say maybe they do have similar styles and I just don't know it, and it's just a coincidence that they both happen to be for young adults. Or is it the plainness of their sentences because of their demographic? How they're unadorned with literary flourishes like, I don't know, references to other books, to other ideas, or there's weird punctuation or maybe hyper stylized descriptions. I really don't know. And I feel like the answer, it's so frustrating because I feel like the answer is just on the tip of my tongue. Or maybe it's an affectation of just an older gentleman writing as they sometimes do, but writing as or just writing for a younger generation. Like, I really don't know. It's driving me crazy. So someone, please tell me, am I going crazy? I've got to stop here.
Like, share, subscribe.